Hey, you guys, you know who it is. Thomas Strong here at Stronger Lawns. I wanted to cover something with you guys today. Last few days, and today I had it a couple of times. People ask me a question. Hey, what do I do now that it's springtime? Isn't that the best time to plant grass seed? My yard's pretty thin. Isn't this the best time? And so usually when I hear that, I'm thinking either they've been listening to radio commercials, TV show commercials, or listen to the advertising and marketing from some of the big box stores. Spring is not, I repeat, NOT, not the best time to put down grass seed, not the best time to plant seed, for a few reasons. One reason is that the heat and stress, the heat, humidity, the dryness of summer is usually it's hard on the new grass and hard on the seedlings, and they end up dying off. So that's the main reason. The second reason is, you want to make sure that you're putting, when you're spending the time and the money, good quality grass seed is not cheap. And you're putting out the time to do the work. You're putting out the time to and the energy to water. You want to do it where you're going to have the best chance of success. So I'll say you might have 60% chance of success as far as that seed taking pretty good and staying and being able to live and thrive throughout the summer. So that being said, now if you're like, hey man, my yard's gonna be a mud pit if I don't do it. It's just too bare. It's just too thin. I need to do something. If you're gonna do it, here's what I would say would be my strategies. First, you have to assess your situation as far as where you are. Is the grass just thin? Is it that there's weeds popping in? Because usually where grass is thin, weed seeds have come in and weeds have come in to take over. I'd say take over that real estate. Like for instance, where I am here at this field, you can see these thin areas over here. Now, if I zoom in, I don't know if you're able to see it all too well. That's a whole lot of weeds. A lot of that is weeds. So it's not even really grass. This big old patch here, that's crabgrass. Oh, that's crabgrass. I see dandelions popping up, bittercress. There's just a lot of weeds in there. So that's the first thing you gotta assess the situation that you're working with. And my assessment is I need to cover my eyes. All right. So you have to just assess the situation that you have at hand. So that's your first priority. And so if you have weeds that you need to get rid of, and you do need to get rid of them if you have them, you got to find a selective herbicide. When I say selective, you don't want something like Roundup. It kills everything that's green. So you want something that's going to kill the weeds but not the lawn. So what I'll do is I'll put a link in the description down below to some very, very good products that I actually use to make sure my lawn stays weed free. And if I do see them, that I make sure I apply them so that way I'm good to go. And I've had a great rate of success with this stuff. So I will definitely share those with you. And if you order through the links that are posted below, I've worked out a deal with the supplier that you guys would have no shipping. They'll take care of shipping and usually get it to your doorstep within 2 to 3 days. So they're pretty quick and pretty efficient. So first thing is take care of the weeds if you have them. Second is to prepare the soil. So if your soil is hard and rocky and just dried up and stiff, you might have to take something to the turf and loosen it up. Now, I'm not saying to aerate it. Usually I feel like aeration is best. It's expensive if you're going to pay somebody, and it's expensive if you have to rent. Not expensive, but it's labor intensive if you have to rent it. So if you're going to put out the money and put out the energy and time to do it, you might as well do it where you're going to get the most return for it. And personally, I feel like that's going to be best in the fall. Just from experience, that's going to be your best time in the fall. All right, so next thing is going to be till the soil. So you can get a tiller. I use what's called a garden weasel, and it's pretty much a cultivator. It's got spikes and tines. It's about 4 or 5 of them that intertwine with each other, and you just run that over the surface so you start seeing it loosen up pretty good. After that, then you want to make sure you get some very good high quality seed. So if you're looking at the bag, you want to make sure the weed The weed seed percentage is 0 all the way across the board. You want to make sure that there's 0 other crop seeds in there. You want to make sure that there is the lowest amount of inert matter possible, like 0.001, like little to none. You don't want seed that has the special coatings and all this other crap that's on there. You want a bag that's 100% grass seed. And you want to look for a type of seed that is right for your area. If you got a open area that's full of sun, an area that tolerates the sun well. If you have a shaded area, you want to get a good shade mix. Usually your local Site One suppliers are going to be able to point you in the right direction and having some good quality grass seed in front of you. So look them up. As well, you want something that's got a germination percent that's in the 90s, higher than 90, nothing that's in the 80s. 90% germination rate on the label. So you got to read the label there. So once you put the seed down, you make sure you have the right amount of seed. You don't have to overdo it, but the right amount of seed for the area that you're using. Sprinkle that seed down. Take that garden weasel again. Till it over the soil there, so you work that seed in to the soil. Or best thing is going to be take time, instead of aerating in the spring, you're renting one of those split seeders. Rent a split seeder, and that way it's going to put it about a half an inch to a quarter inch or so below the surface, so that way you're having direct seed to soil contact. If you just toss seed in your lawn and you don't have direct seed to soil contact, you're wasting your time and you're wasting your hard-earned money. So I hate to tell you it, I hate to be abrupt, but essentially that's what you're doing. Let me get back here. This is a little bright. So it's no need in wasting more of your time and your money. So other things, I guess another stuff you can think about is if you're not renting a split seeder, then do what I said before. Take your garden weasel after you sprinkle a nice layer of seed over top of the soil in the area you want. Take that garden weasel and just work it over so that the seed is worked down into the soil a little bit. You should see a good bit of soil on top of the seed. From there, you're just making sure, from there you have to make sure you are feeding that seed. So get a good type of starter fertilizer. Also in the link, I'll link some good quality starter fertilizer in the description below from the same company, free shipping straight to your doorstep. But I usually recommend this 18-24-12. The first number is the nitrogen percentage. That's going to spur some top growth. The second number is your root growth. You want those roots to go deep into the soil. That's what's going to allow that seed to stay alive, not just germinate and then just die off. We want it to stay alive for a long time. So that's 24% there. So it's really focused on that root growth. And then it's got 12% of the potash, which is going to help the seed to handle disease and stress. So the stuff that comes along with summer. So that's what you want to do there. Then after that, you want to make sure you keep that seed moist and wet for the next 2 to 3 weeks. So you don't want it where you're creating a puddle and that seed is just floating on down the street. No, but you want to keep it moist for the next 2 to 3 weeks. So that means you're going to have to make sure it's watered daily, whether it be in the morning and in the afternoon or the afternoon or evening. Usually it's not best to go doing a whole lot of watering in the evening, just because it create fungus and disease in the lawn. But if that's the only time you got, that's the only time you got. You got to make it happen. If that seed dries out, you just wasted your money. So you want to make sure for the next 2 weeks, you keep that seed wet. So for most people, most places, that means if you got a good, decent sprinkler, keep the sprinkler over a certain area for 25 to 30 minutes, then rotate it around to the main area you're trying to get new seed to germinate, to make sure that that area is covered. Let's see, what am I missing? Other thing is staying off the area, staying off the grass, staying off the turf. A lot of people are telling me, oh, this is all because my dog ran all through it and so on. Well, you got to make sure you keep that dog off of it while you're trying to plant new grass seed. There's just no way around it. You can't go walking on it a ton. You have to keep that area free from all foot traffic. Now, when you make sure you're taking care of the weeds, when you keep that lawn thick and healthy, when you make sure it's well nourished, you will not have an issue with your pets and your kids and everybody being on the lawn. But if you're not keeping it nourished, if you're not watering it, if you're not making sure it's nice and thick, if you're not treating the weeds, then you're setting yourself up. You're just wasting your time. You're gonna have to do this all over again. That's usually the case with a lot of people, from what I'm finding, is that they are not taking care of all these things, and they're having to do this stuff over and over and over again, year after year after year. So you can't just throw some seed down in the spring, hope for the best because the spring rains are coming, not fertilize it, and then not keep it going. So you don't have to fertilize it every month or every week or anything like that. If you haven't already done so, if you don't know about it, you'll be best signing up for my Stronger Lawns Academy, where I coach people and teach people my yearly program, DIY guys, homeowners, on how to do this themselves. Put together a detailed plan, tell you what kind of products to use, exactly how much to use, exactly when to go and do it. So that way you're not wasting your time, you're not wasting your energy. You don't want to do the right application, but at the wrong time, not see any result and end up wasting your money. So I guarantee, I've got a 100% guarantee. I stand behind it. If you do exactly what I lay out, as I lay it out there, you will be more than surprised, more than pleased at the results you get into your lawn. So that's the last thing I say. Stay off of it. Let that grass grow till it's about 3-4 inches before you do your first cut. 3 to 4 inches high, and then make sure you mow it high. Set your mower to its highest setting, not its lowest setting. Highest setting. Let it thicken up. The taller, the thicker the turf, the better it's able to handle that foot traffic, the better it's able to handle the stress, and so forth. You're keeping those roots shaded so that way they're not being dried out as the summer heat and the dry air comes in. So these are all what I call proper management tips that you need to do when you're trying to grow new grass in a I won't say unpleasant, but not the best environment or at the best time, that you want to shoot for. All right, I believe that's everything I wanted to cover. So check the description down below for the links to the weed killer, the herbicides there, the selective, so to make sure you get the right type. Check the description for the fertilizer to make sure you have the right type as well too, for the application or for the seeding that you're putting down there. And then, hey, if you need somebody to detail all this out for you to make it easy and simple for you to follow, then feel free to definitely check the link there and join the Stronger Lawns Academy. I have videos on everything that's all detailed. I have PDFs where you can download so that way you can see exactly what you need to do. And I'll link to every product I recommend so that way you can go ahead and order it. Sometimes I'm able to get you a discount, but every time I'm able to save you on shipping. So you don't have to pay any shipping. It's brought straight to your door, usually within 2 to 3 days. All right, but that's it. Thomas Strong signing off here from Stronger Lawns on what's the best way to go about planting grass seed in the spring, even though it's not the best environment or best time for you to grow it. All right, stay tuned for more. Take care.